sum up wealth in one sentence, what would you say?
The ability to turn an emergency into a minor inconvenience. My tire went out, get it fixed.
Exactly.
Most people don't have a spending problem. Now, some of us do. Some of us do. Investing should be boring. Investing should be like one of the most boring things that you're doing. Whether you know it or not, you are teaching money lessons to your kids every single day.
Okay.
We don't waste in our kitchen.
That part, me too.
We don't waste in our kitchen. You can use every part of everything.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So go ahead. You get to try.
And now it's game on.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sweet Life with Nikki. Today's episode is called 3 Steps to Generational Wealth. My guest, Dr. Darla Bishop, grew up in Detroit's toughest neighborhoods and is now a leading voice in financial wellness. Today, she's showing us how your mindset, your habits can all shape your wealth and your health. She is the author of How to Afford Everything, a financial expert and founder of Finances with an SIS on the end, because sisters, we got to get our money together. She's here to help us build wealth and help our children build wealth, transform our health, our family, and our futures. Darla, come on, girl. We are so excited to have you on the show today.
And I magically appear.
There you go. Yay! Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, first of all, I am impressed with little Maddie here.
Yes.
Okay? So she started at 6 years old. She told her mother she wanted to write a book too. She wanted to be famous too. So I love this.
Yeah, because she saw my picture on YouTube and she said, "You're on YouTube, you must be famous."
I love it! Well, that's good, girl, because I'm on YouTube and everything. So my youngest tells me I'm not that famous. So
you know, she's still little, so they still love me a whole lot.
Yeah, once they get a little older, they do humble you a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this other book here, okay, so first of all, tell me about your childhood and your earliest memory of money, and then what led you to where you are right now.
So I don't think it was my earliest memory, but the family went through so many things when I was a teenager. And I remember having this recurring thought of, we wouldn't be going through half of this stuff. And I'm going to say stuff because I know we do our family
Yes,
show.
that's right, that's right.
We wouldn't be going through half of this stuff if we just had more money, because the women in my family, who were the ones who were the stewards of the money, right? The ones who actually wrote the checks for the bills, the ones who actually went to the grocery store and kept things on track. They were really skillful at managing the money they did have. They just didn't have enough to come up with when a big problem or an emergency or something catastrophic would come up. And so then it'd take us way too long to get it solved or way too long to pivot. And so I just remember thinking all the time, if we just had some more money, we wouldn't be going through half of this.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And so when I made it to college, I went to the University of Michigan, and I was surrounded by all these kids whose parents had written checks for tuition and tricked out their dorm room and bought them season football tickets, and there I was.
Disposable income.
And literally some of their kids was really disposing it, right? Ooh. And so I was like, wait, if I made it here and they made it here, I'm clearly as smart, possibly smarter, because I had to overcome a whole bunch of other stuff to get into the room. But then also, if the main difference between us is that they understand money differently, I can learn that. So I took some of the free time I had as a scholarship student who had previously expected to be working a whole bunch of jobs. I wasn't working a whole bunch of jobs because I had a scholarship. So I started reading books about money.
Okay. So now, what did you major in?
Oh, so I
just wondering. I mean, I don't know if it was fine,
No, actually, no. I majored in psychology and linguistics and Spanish, because I knew that having another language, if I ever wanted to leave, I needed at least one.
Right.
And so, but I studied money for me because I also knew that my life was going to be different by virtue of being in the university, right? Like I was going to leave with a degree. I was going to leave with friends who now I had some rich friends.
Right.
Which I didn't have before.
Exactly.
Right. And so I needed to understand how to build that life, which was different than the one of the parents and the relatives that I left in Detroit.
Right. Which makes sense, because I grew up where literally my mom was robbing Paul to pay Peter. So I always thought to myself, I know there is another way, right? I do not want to live my life where I'm robbing Paul to pay Peter. How can I create wealth, not just for me, but for my kids and then their kids and their kids, that generational wealth, which is what you're going to help us learn about today. Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell me, what is generational wealth? For people, help explain.
Yeah, and if I'm honest, I don't think I even use that term a lot. Okay. I just want it to breathe. I just want it a cushion. I just want it to be able to pay all the bills, do a few things I like to do, and then still have something left over. I just wanted to know how to afford everything I needed to. Okay. And so the wealth part, yes, but being easy, having a smooth life, being able to pay the bills, to be able to take care of things, to turn emergencies into minor inconveniences because we have the money, because we have the time to fix them. That for me is so much wealth, because that means my kids have a mom who isn't as stressed out. That means that they can say things like, well, I want to write a book, and I can say, you know what? It turns out mommy knows how to do that. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Right?
And so, we have the resources and the time.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, I know, at least with my mom, she was working so hard, right, to pay all these different bills, to make life happen, that she didn't always have that time, like I think maybe you and I do, to spend time with our kids, to help them write a book, right? So that's so key, because you are right. It's like wealth, I still say generational wealth, but I feel like it's more than just literally those dollars in the bank. Yes. It's that health that you talk about. So explain to me what you mean by wealth helping you with your health.
And so I have a doctorate in health policy. And as my dissertation research went on for many years, one of the things that came up time and time again is something I already knew in my body, because I saw it growing up, that when you don't have enough money, it is real hard to pay attention to your health, right? Because one, you might live in a neighborhood that the neighborhood itself is just making you sick. There's not opportunities to exercise. There might be air pollution. The water quality might be bad. Let's talk about lead in the water, right? There might not be great grocery stores, so you either have to go a far distance, or you're choosing to eat whatever is available in the convenient location, which might not be good for your body, right? And then, if on top of all of that, if you are stressed, overworking in order to just make the ends maybe possibly come close together, if they even meet. If you have diabetes and it's like mostly okay, and you've been feeling mostly okay, you're not going to prioritize getting to the doctor. You're not going to prioritize getting things checked when they are just starting out. You're going to wait until something's really bad to go in. So that means that a condition that maybe we could have kept from getting bad, that we could have prevented in the first place, we actually catch it in the late stage. And so when your money is healthy, you have a much better chance of being physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy, because you're not fighting so hard just to survive.
Just to survive. Okay. I love that. Now, you talk about your zip code can determine, right, what your bank account looks like. And you kind of talked about this a little bit already, but really explain that, because you really talk a lot about that whole zip code and wealth.
Yeah. So if you think about it, we typically live in neighborhoods with the same people who make around the same amount of money. So if you live in an area, that means that everyone's probably working similar jobs, they're probably in the same income bracket, and so they're having the same issues, situations, or problems. And so if you make more money, if your credit score is higher, then that gives you the option to maybe move a few miles away, where the school has a higher quality education or smaller classroom sizes, or there is a big, beautiful grocery store that has a huge produce section and the prices aren't so high. Like the other day, we went to the store. We were on the south side of our city, and because we were just over there, and I was like, oh, right, we need some milk. And I was like, well, there's a store right here. The milk there was $4 for the gallon.
Ooh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know that the store on my side of town, the milk is $2.39. So, okay, $1.70, you think, well, $1.70 doesn't make that much of a difference, but that was for one food item. Exactly. And I know our family of 5, we use 70 food items every week. So if I'm paying that much more for every food item, that means that I'm having to be very careful about what I'm buying.
Exactly. And I feel like it's so unfair, too, with this whole, that's a whole other story for a different day. But that drives me crazy, too, because I do see that, especially in the cities, or the zip codes, I should say, where people need the lower prices, aren't always getting the lower prices.
That's right. It is so expensive to be poor. It's expensive in money, it's expensive in time, and it's expensive in energy.
All of it. Very true. Okay, so then how do we, if I'm living in this zip code, right, and I am robbing Paul to pay Peter, right, as I grew up doing, how can I break free of that? Like, I'm a mom, I have 3 kids, I'm single. What are some steps that I can take right now, today, because you talk about small habits, that can help me move the needle?
So the very first thing is to track to see where the money went and came from.
Okay.
Because
where the money went and came from. So number one.
Because it's important to know where it went and where it came from.
Okay, so both.
Both.
How it went in and how it came out. How it's going in, how it's coming out.
Right.
Okay.
And so, like, were your checks consistent? Did your job pay you the way they were supposed to? Right? Did your checks come on time? When you went to cash it or put it in the bank, did you have to pay any fees? Because maybe that cut into your money. When you went to the grocery store, was your bill about the same every time or was it higher? So really understanding your numbers can tell you a lot about how your money is flowing so that you can make small adjustments.
Okay, so how can we do that? Because I'm a mom, I'm stressed out, I'm busy, I'm working 2 jobs. Is there like a tool or app? Is there something that's going to help me with this?
Yeah, so the good news is if you are banking, even with a traditional bank or a credit union, if you have that online banking app, a lot of times if you go on the computer instead of on your phone, they can actually show you these beautiful color graphs. You spent this percentage on food. You spent these dollars on groceries. You spent these dollars on gas. So you don't have to do the tracking yourself. You can just log onto a computer to see the graphs.
Oh, see, that's good. That's a nugget. That's a nugget. So utilize the tools you have. You don't have to buy an app or anything like that. No. You already have a bank account. Right. Use what's free and available to you. And if you don't have a computer at home, we can go to the library.
Yes, and that's the second tip, actually, is map your resources. Because sometimes we think, well, I don't have money, so I don't have what I need. But you might have what you need in a different form. So is there a neighbor who is also a single mom? Maybe you all could trade off a couple hours per week, right? Like, where for 2 hours on Tuesday, you got all 5 kids. On 2 hours on Thursday, she's got all 5 kids. And what that does is that gives you the 2 hours to maybe clean up the house, to maybe cook a couple meals so that you don't have to go through the drive-thru, to maybe look at your money and be like, what do I need to move around to make it all work better? So who in your life, whether they're a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, can be a helper? Who in the community? Is there an organization? Is there a library? Is there a school program that you can get the kids, if you were parenting, or yourself into to help make things just run a little smoother? Map your resources.
Map your resources. So number 2, that is so important because you in talking about mapping your resources, what I also heard is we have to ask for help.
Yes.
And I know how hard it is as women, especially Black women, right? We don't know how to ask for help. So I am saying, you are saying, ask for help. I'm trying to tell you that has been monumental in my life. When I started leaning in to allowing people to help me, because remember, when you ask people for help, you are really honestly blessing them because you're giving them an opportunity to also do something that is giving. So many times we give and think, oh, I don't want to take, but it's not taking. You're giving someone the opportunity to give to you the way you give to other people. So let's make sure we reframe that in our heads and really say, who, what can we get that's going to help us along the way? And having those resources like a neighbor or a friend or a family member, someone that you know you can have that reciprocity with, I think is so key. So thank you. That was a great tip. Yeah.
And then the third thing is most people don't have a spending problem. Now, some of us do. Some of us do.
I'm like, ooh, girl, I don't know. Go ahead.
It's an income problem. So when you do the math, the money you make is here, but the money you need just to have things running smoothly is here, then we got to figure out how to close that gap. Okay. And so there are short ways to do that. See if there's any way to reduce your expenses. Can you change where you live? I know that's a big ask, but maybe moving in with a relative, if that's a possibility. Maybe changing your commute so you don't have to spend as much on gas or bus fare or train if you're in a bigger city, right? Like, are there any ways to cut down what you have to spend just for a few months so that you can get a little wiggle room?
So let's do a recap because I think you gave us some really great nuggets. So give me those 3 things again.
So the first thing is actually know where your money is coming from and going to.
Okay.
Like, study your money. Look at your bank account, look at your Venmo, your Cash App feed, look at your credit card statements. Because just by looking, you might be like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, that's why. You'll have a bunch of those aha moments. The second thing is map your resources.
Map your resources.
Map your resources. You might think, oh, I don't have it. But there are probably people in your life. So I have a friend who absolutely loves folding clothes. And I'm so sad she don't live close to me, right? Because that's probably the hardest thing in my life right now is keeping up with folding clothes. I can wash them, I can dry them, but folding them,
girl.
And so when we live closer together, I'd be like, you want to come over? I'll make you dinner because I like to cook. So I cook dinner and she'd fold the clothes and we just
There you go.
So who in your life can be a helper? And if it's not a person, because maybe you don't live in your family, that's a reality for some people. I'm a military spouse, so we rarely live near family. But who in the community could be a helper? Is there an organization, shoot, the library, that can help you with something that will make things go just a little bit easier?
Yes. The library now has where you can loan out things. They have the things library, right? So I know with my kids, before I got them an American Girl doll, made that investment, we went and we got a loaned American Girl doll from the library. Also, one of my daughters loves science. We received a telescope and a microscope that we loaned, and then I ended up buying her one. But I want to make sure that she liked it first before because that's an investment, right? So, but even still, even if it's not something that you're like looking at to purchase, just so your child can have that opportunity to play with those different items without you having to pay for them. That makes so much sense. So thank you for those 3 nuggets. Now, let's start talking about these kids because I love Madeline's book. And I know that you as a mom helped to inspire this because that's what we moms do. So give me as a mom and other moms out there or anybody like aunties, all of us uncles who are helping young people, teachers, educators to become more money wise. What are 3 things that we can do with our kids now that will kind of help them to grow into just being more money wise?
So the first thing is pay attention to what's coming out of your mouth. So what you don't realize, whether you know it or not, you are teaching money lessons to your kids every single day. What you say no and yes to, how you say no or yes to it, they're all absorbing that, right? And so think about, maybe take a week where you just pay attention. Okay, what did I say about money? When they asked me for something, how did I say yes or no? When we were at the store, how did that go, right? Just like pay attention and police yourself. Because when you speak life into your kids, whether you believe it or not, your voice is the one that becomes kind of their internal narrator.
That is true.
And so you need to be planting seeds of positivity and responsibility. And there are really easy ways to do that. So in the store, your kid's like, but mommy, I want a toy. Well, sweetie, what did we come to the store for? Trash bags and light bulbs. Right. We came to the store today for trash bags and light bulbs. Did we get our trash bags and light bulbs? Yes. Okay, so the toy wasn't on the list, but let's look at the toy. Okay, how much is the toy? Okay, do you think you have that in your piggy bank? Well, let's check when we get home. And if you do, then we can come back and get it next time, right? And that is a much better conversation than, no, we ain't got it, you ain't getting it, stop asking for stuff, sit down. But it didn't take all that much more time.
That's right. But it was a healthier dialogue, and you explained it to them so they understood, and it incentivizes them to say, okay, if I don't have it all in my piggy bank, how can I get it? Because tell us the story about what inspired this with your daughter when she talked about, wanting to be able to buy something,
that's
right?
actually the second tip. That takes us perfectly. The second tip is let your kids work for a little bit of money. It doesn't have to be big amounts, but it's important, especially for women, right? Women are paid cents on the dollar compared to our male counterparts. And then add being Black or Latina, and it's even a smaller amount. And so we need to learn from an early age that our work is worth being paid for. And so yes, everybody in our house has the responsibility of keeping the house up and picking up after themselves and helping. Sure, but when your kid does something extra or additional, throw a little something their way. Give them a quarter, give them $1. It doesn't have to be huge shows of money, but just so they start to get those lessons that, right, my work is worthy. And so that's what happened. Maddie was doing a job for me. I had her packing up some books ahead of a speaking engagement, and she was counting them. And she said, but Mama, when can I write a book? And I was like, sweetie, whenever you want. It's just got to be about money. And so she told me this awesome story. It started with me telling her no in the store. But then I said, great, that's a really good story. I need time to find someone to draw the pictures because I'm not so good at drawing pictures. And she's like, well, I can draw the picture. I said, I think we should get some help because there's a lot of pages. And so can mommy have some time to find someone to draw the pictures? She said, okay, tell me when you have someone. And so every few weeks, did you find somebody to draw the pictures yet?
I love it.
Do we have somebody to draw the pictures yet? What is it called? It was so cute. So cute.
That's awesome. So now we are going to get into making these lemon bars.
Yes.
Now I know you love lemon bars.
I love them so much.
And you love lemon because well, I'm not going to give away what you talk about in your kitchen confession, but you let us know you like lemons.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to make these lemon bars. I'm going to let you use the smaller knife. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how, I want to get anybody, scared, because sometimes when I wield this big knife, people get a little scared.
Oh, no, I have been trained in kitchen.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we're just going to peel off this paper, because what we're doing is we're going to basically cube the butter.
Yes.
And we're going to use cold butter, so it's still cold and firm, to make our crust. We're going to start making our lemon bar crust. We'll bake that off, then we'll do the filling. So
I had to do that real carefully, because I was like, I know I can't get the butter hot. It messes it up.
That's right. Look, Okay, so literally I just kind of cut it straight down the middle like this, and then I pull these two pieces, and then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut it again. So now I have 4 pieces. Okay. Once you get those 4 pieces, like you said, you try to handle as little as you can, because people don't realize that your body temperature is like basically 97, 98 degrees. So if butter is touching something that's 97, 98 degrees, it is going to melt, right? So now we're just going to literally cube the butter. Just like that. And the reason why we're using cold butter for this, because it actually helps with the crust, because when it's time to put that filling on top of the crust will stand a little firmer, and basically your filling won't kind of like marry into the crust, because you really want to have a separation between the crust and between the actual filling for your lemon bars. So we're going to put that in there.
Even though I can cook, this feels like public cooking, and this is like public math. Like, am I getting it right? Am I cutting this right?
You are cutting it right.
Too much.
No, you are doing all right. Trust me. Now listen, when I didn't used to do things right in the kitchen, my grandma used to smack my hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, honey, she smacked my hands. Okay, so I won't smack your hands today.
Okay, we got some good cubes here.
Yes, you got some good cubes. Okay, go ahead and stick it in there. Now we're going to get powdered sugar, and we're going to take about a half cup of powdered sugar. We're going to put that in there.
I need your knife.
Yes,
my knife isn't big enough for
That's okay. Go ahead. And we're going to mix this together. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hands, because my grandma always said best kitchen utensils are your hands. Mm-hmm. Now you're like, okay, now using your hands. Okay, but we're just mixing it together very, very quickly. Then we're going to add in our flour. When we get our flour in, we're going to mix it again together. The thing is, you still want to have pieces of butter.
Yes.
Just like with your pie crust, when you have pieces of butter and it actually cooks, it creates flakiness within your crust. So we want our shortbread to have a little bit of flakiness. Now we're going to take 2 cups of, now I use gluten-free flour. This one is our King Authors Measure for Measure gluten-free flour. So everything I do is gluten-free, because both my girls have food allergies. And that's the reason why I started doing all of this, was because of them. So I'm going to do 1 cup, and then I'm going to do a 2nd cup, and then we're going to mix it all together again, and we're going to press it down into our pan. And the trick is you really have to press it down hard into that pan.
And I know that in the bakery, you also have several vegan treats. So if I wanted to do this vegan, could I use Crisco or other vegetable shortening?
Well, you could, but the thing is that it's the filling. Now, if you make a lemon, because it has the egg. Oh, so if you make, so I don't make it vegan in the store, because I don't do like tofu, because you have to do like a tofu type filling to make it that way. But it is possible, and people do make it.
Okay.
I don't make it.
Okay.
But I do make other good vegan items. But thank you that's a good question. I love it. Yes, give all the good questions. And so basically, I'm just mixing this together until it gets to be a nice crust. And even though I'm kind of marrying some of that butter, it still has some coldness to it, so it's not as soft as it would be otherwise. So,
and I didn't look closely. Did we use salted or unsalted butter?
Good question. I use unsalted butter. Now, if you want to add a little salt in here, you can. I like to use unsalted, because unsalted, you get to control the salt.
Okay.
With salted, you don't, because actually there is no standard way or standard measurement for salted butter. So different companies put different amount of salt in it. So you may get one that's saltier than the other.
That makes sense. You know, I have an aunt who bakes cakes. And so for the family celebrations, baby showers, things like that, she'll bake a cake, and she's very particular about which butter she buys. Ooh, and I thought she was just snobby, but now that you say that, it's probably because it can change the flavor. It can
change the flavor. It really can. And it's really interesting. So there's no standardized way. Exactly. Okay. So this is perfect. So we're just going to go ahead, dump this directly into our pan here. Well, actually, let me dump this back out because I got to spray it. So I always spray my pan because it helps so that your crust doesn't stick and makes it really easy to be able to lift it up. Now, some people may use parchment paper or wax paper, which you can, but I just feel like nonstick spray works best for me. And then I don't have to worry about the parchment paper. So we're going to press this down into here. I'm going to have you start helping me press it down, honey. Right. Yes. Go ahead, start pressing it down.
All right.
And I'm going to wash my hands and let you do some more work.
Okay, yes. Put me to work.
Yes, I'm going to put you to work, honey.
Okay, and then because I want to make this as even as possible, I'm actually just rotating it so I can get my hand where it needs to be.
That is exactly right. That is exactly what you want to do.
Okay, almost. I just got a little divot here that I got to fix.
Okay, it's looking good. You're doing a good job. Yes.
I have done this from a box, but never from scratch, so thank you.
Okay, yes, absolutely. I love a buttery crust. That is the thing. With your lemon bars, you got that butter in there, and you can see those pieces of butter. We're going to show you how the pieces of butter in a second, but you can still see.
All right, it looks good.
Okay. And you can still see those pieces of butter, right? You can still see that. That is going to be yumminess. Now, when we come back, we are going to make the filling, which is the good part, right? Okay. Well, I think both of them are kind of the good part, but we're going to make the filling in just a minute, so stay tuned. So now it's time to get into this filling, honey.
Okay. Before I came in, I sanitized, so I know I do not have any cuts.
Okay, well, good. Oh, I know, because when you get that lemon, ooh, honey, you are right. Okay, we do not want that. I don't have any cuts either. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to help me with actually squeezing the lemons.
Okay.
So you're just going to cut them. But first, what I like to do is I do like to do a little zest.
Okay, how much zest do we need?
I usually use about a tablespoon. Okay. But I eyeball it. So basically, we're just going to zest like this. And the thing is that once it gets to the white, you want to move on to the other part of the lemon. Because otherwise, that white part, ooh, it is very tart. And we don't want it. We want it to be tasty, but not super tart. Okay. So while you're doing that, I'm going to crack these 4 eggs. And we're going to put the eggs in the bowl.
Ooh, 4 eggs?
Now, 4 eggs, yes. I know that seems like a lot for some people when they're doing, especially when we're using an 8x8 pan. But I'm doing it bakery style. So I'm doing a nice, thicker, okay, more creamier, more kind of curdy filling to it. So that's the reason why I'm using 4 eggs. Okay. Okay. So, and I have it in, I start with my eggs first. So if I get any eggshells in there, I can pull them out. And one thing is, I don't have any eggshells, but if you ever get eggshells, you can take a shell, and the shell likes shells. So I'll just throw one in there. So shells like shells, so it'll gravitate. You know how sometimes you're like trying to find it with your finger? See how that just said it so quickly? Yes. Shells like shells, right? It likes to get back to its owner, so to speak.
So I don't think I told you this part yet, but I always wanted to be on a cooking show because we used to watch cooking shows growing up. Okay. And I remember one particular scene where the host was like, "Don't go in there fishing for your eggshell with your finger. Always use the shell." So I always think of that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you know what? Some people don't know that. So that's good. Okay, I love it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this lemon zest on in here. And I might give myself just a little bit more before you start doing that. Yes, but you can go ahead and use this to actually, and we can drain any type of, not shells, but seeds out. So
okay, so don't worry about those.
Don't worry about that. We'll straight it.
We have because we travel to South America from time to time, and so I have this really beautiful metal juice extractor, you know, the handheld squeezer one. I haven't used one of these in a long time.
I know, I have one of those in the store. Trust me, we're not doing this by hand for all the things that we make, but at home, I just usually use this. But that sounds really kind of nice. Now, where did you go in South America?
So that one I got in Colombia. So when I was in graduate school the first time, because I've been a couple times, I decided to do my public health internship in Colombia. So I worked at a mental health facility. And people always would ask, well, like, what was it like working at a mental health facility in a different country? I said, what's funny is because I got a lot of them people in my family. It was just like being at home, but in Spanish.
Exactly, right? It's like, I know these people, okay? I got people like that at home.
Just like them.
Just like them. I love it. Okay, so we're going to use about a cup of sugar. And I'm going to keep mixing this in while you are working on our lemons.
That looks so nice.
It looks really
What kind of sugar was that? Was that regular
sugar? Okay. Granulated, regular cane sugar. So I'm just going to mix this. And I like to mix it so it gets like nice and creamy. So I like to get my little exercise in too. Now you can put this on your mixer. I have a mixer, but I like to say I like to use these muscles right here, honey.
And this lemon is making me so happy. It just smells so bright.
It smells so bright
my
and
gosh.
refreshing. Absolutely. I love it, love it, love it, love it.
And I will resist the urge because I really want to just lick my hand.
I know. That's what I want to do some days too, Chad. I have to remember, like, okay, Nikki, you can't do that, all right? You can't do that.
The health board would be after us.
Girl, okay? They really would. All right? So, let me get my strainer. And we probably have close to...
We've got 2/3 of a cup.
That's about how much we need. It's about 2/3 of a cup. Okay. So, let me go ahead and strain this, and we'll see where we are. I like to just take this. Mm-hmm. And basically, if you go like this, it kind of helps to get all of that in there. So you get all that goodness.
Okay, save that for me. I'm going to have a cup of tea before we leave.
Oh, yes.
Okay? I don't want that
absolutely. Yes. Okay, you are my type of woman.
Yeah, we don't waste in our kitchen.
That part, me too.
We don't waste in our kitchen. We can use every part of everything.
Yes. Okay. So when I grew up, the other day I did a show with somebody. We were talking about peeling apples. Mm-hmm. Now, when we peeled apples, my grandmother again would smack my hands if you took too much of that.
Oh, that actual flesh.
Mm-hmm. Got the flesh.
Stop wasting my apples.
Exactly, that part. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and pour this in here and mix it together. It smells divine.
Bright. What I love about lemon is it just makes everything smell bright.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like that brightness.
It does. It brightens up everything. Okay. And then we're going to just use about 2 tablespoons of flour.
And this is our gluten-free flour again.
Our gluten-free flour again. And this just helps to thicken it.
Do you even have regular all-purpose in your house?
I do not.
That makes sense.
Because of my kiddos. Go ahead and mix that up. Now, one little trick that I use is that I put a little bit of heavy cream in here just to add some creaminess to my lemon bars. I know it's a little secret trick.
I love that.
Don't tell everybody now.
I think they know.
They know. Oh, darn. Girl, I was trying to keep it a secret. So I just use about a tablespoon.
Oh,
just a little bit.
Oh, and I can feel the difference.
Yes, and the heavy cream, it just has that fat, that butter in it. So it's just adding a little layer of creaminess. So it just makes it more of like a curd, creamy texture to your lemon bars. Okay, so now we got this mixed up. Next thing we're going to add it to our crust, put it in the oven. And now with this one, because it's a thicker filling, I bake it at 325.
Okay.
At a lower temperature for a little bit longer. Because if you bake it too high, it'll cook around the edges and it'll be really raw in the middle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's because it's going to be thicker than your typical lemon filling.
Right.
For your lemon crust.
Because they're bakery style.
They're bakery style, yes. All right, so when we come back, we are going, well, first of all, you are going to hear Miss Darla's kitchen confession, and you're going to learn a little bit more about why she likes lemons, or basically another thing that she likes, that is lemon. And then after her kitchen confession, we are going to show you how we put this all together, put it in the oven. We're going to bake it off. It is going to be wonderful. So stay tuned.
Hey, this is Dr. Darla Bishop, and I'm here with Kitchen Confessions. So as a mother, you're not supposed to have favorites, but as a cook, I have to tell you, there is one seasoning in my cabinet that does the job of everybody else's, and that is lemon pepper seasoning. One of my favorite things to make with lemon pepper seasoning right now is I take cauliflower and I toss it with olive oil, a half of a taco seasoning pack, and heavy lemon pepper seasoning, and I roast it on 400 for 30 minutes, and it comes out so delicious and flavorful. If you haven't tried it, I highly suggest.
Our crust is straight out the oven, and I do have it on this nice little, look at that.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yes. Just because you do not want to burn your countertop, okay? So, we're going to pour this right over. Yes. Then we're going to bake it at 325 for about 25-30 minutes. We want the center to be jiggly like Jell-O, but we do want it to have a little bit of jiggle to it. So not completely firm, a little bit of jiggle. It's going to go into our oven, 325 for about 30 minutes. Can't wait. We'll be back and we'll show you exactly what it looks like. It is time for rapid fire. I like to give 10 questions.
Ooh, 10. Yes. Oh, okay, it's okay. I'm ready.
And so you just have to answer one word or one sentence, just, rapid fire. Okay, so if you could sum up wealth in one sentence, what would you say?
The ability to turn an emergency into a minor inconvenience.
Ooh, emergency into minor inconvenience. That means less stress.
Less stress. Like,
Less stress.
oh, my tire went out. Get it fixed.
Exactly. All right. So, what is the best money book that you have read?
Well, that I've read, if I've read more than 100, I've read almost 150 money books. So I don't have a top one aside from How to Afford Everything, but I have a top 10 by Dr. Darla Bishop. But I do have a top 10 that I'll give to you to put in the show notes.
Okay, we can put in the show notes. All right, so make sure you check the show notes, everyone. All right, so a splurge that you never regret.
A delicious meal. A delicious meal. Like I can remember probably the top 5 best meals I've had in my life. And can tell you down to like the garlic butter.
Ooh.
I'm thinking of one of them right now.
Okay. Yes, I love it. Okay, so favorite way to teach kids about money?
How you like actually show them by what you're doing. So narrate for them, explain why you're doing things a certain way, ask them questions, see what they know. So bring the kids right along.
I love it. I do that too, actually, with my work. So whether you can take your kids to work with you if you own a business, whatever it is, or take them to the grocery store, all those things are so important. Actually, just last week I was at a conference. My kids went with me.
Oh, yeah.
And there was what's called a meet and greet. And so I registered my kids for this conference so they can be able to participate in the meet and greet. And so on their own, independently, because there were tables with all these different corporations that you could pitch your business to. Okay. And I'm one person, but with them, I'm an army, right? Yeah. So they all went to different tables, my 2 daughters, and they pitched. So that is a great way to be able to teach your kids, not just about money, but life, because they're observing all that and they're learning. Okay, mommy, if she gets this deal, she makes this much money, right, which means and then we could do this, and this. That's so right. I think that's so important to take them along with you.
Yep.
Great. Okay. All right. So one word to describe your money mindset.
Ooh, abundant. Since you only gave me one. Abundant.
I like that. Because we want to have an abundance mindset. Always know that there is more.
There is more. There's so much money in the world. There's so much money in the world. So much. And I only need a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of all the money in the world to have a beautiful, peaceful, smooth, easy life. A fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction.
Yes, that's so true. Okay, so one thing you would buy if you won the lottery.
Ooh, probably my mama a house, because her house be stressing me out. Like, it needs some things repaired. I don't even know if some of the things are always safe. And so honestly, it would just be to relieve my stress, like to buy her a house where I know all the stuff works.
I love that. And your mama would love that too.
Maybe.
Yes.
We have different styles, so maybe she'd probably complain.
Okay, what is one common financial myth you wish people would stop believing?
That is tough. That working hard is how you get rich.
That
working hard is how you get rich. Working hard can certainly be part of it, but it's not the only thing. You have to be able to earn money, keep money, and grow money. It's 3 parts. So earn it, keep it, and grow it.
Okay. So what is one investment tip that you give to people?
Investing should be boring. Investing should be like one of the most boring things that you're doing. Okay. So if you have a retirement account, if you have a brokerage account, don't go like, I want to buy this stock and this stock and this stock. Because then you're dependent on that company to do well. Because when they don't do well, neither do you. So you go buy an index fund where you have 50, 100, 500 companies all mixed in. So that way, if even 10% of them, 20% of them are doing bad, they have all the rest of those companies who could be doing average or good to grow. So investing should be boring and on a schedule. Put some money in the account, make sure it's buying the index fund, walk away and check it every once in a while.
I love it. Boring, people.
Boring.
And sometimes we think boring is not fun, but boring will make you some money. Okay?
For real.
That part.
I made one of my accounts jumped $10,000 last week.
Ooh.
Last week.
Good.
In 5 business days.
Yes. That's good. That's awesome. And it was boring. It was boring. Okay. So now a couple fun ones. So tell me, do you like coffee, tea, water, or something stronger?
Tea, because there's a tea for everything.
There is.
And they're good for your body, and they can help heal you and help change your mood. Tea.
Yes. Okay. So what was the last encounter that made you smile?
You know, my husband walked in the door and he had just gotten a fresh haircut. And he looked so handsome. Like, and there was just something about him kind of coming around the corner. And I was like, ooh, hi.
How are you?
Got those little butterflies in my stomach.
Darla.
Yeah. Like maybe we can go out sometime. And he's like, who gonna watch these kids? I was like, I know.
Exactly. That part. Okay, awesome. So that is so cool. Remember, you can submit your sweet encounter moments too. Something that you've heard or seen, maybe something that Miss Darla just shared that really spoke to you. We want to hear from you. Drop us a comment and we'll make sure to get your sweet life moment on the next show. Look at these beautiful bars. And you see how thick they are?
Yes.
You see they're nice and thick.
Oh, those are so beautiful.
And so we are going to powder them with some powdered sugar because, yes, you know, it's like you got to put a heap amount of powdered sugar on here. That's what makes the lemon bars to me. It's like you got to get all that powdered sugar on top.
And it also, in case you like, it got a little bubbly or something, it kind of...
It does. It hides the sins.
Oh, so pretty.
Yes. And since we're just going to eat it right now, I guess we don't have to put too much on there. But I usually put a nice layer on there too because once it sets, that kind of bottom layer will actually start to absorb. So if you kind of put a nice thick layer on it, then it'll stay pretty. Because if you ever notice when you buy them at the bakery, not just my bakery, but any bakery, it's usually like a nice thick coating. And that's why. Because if it stays thin, it'll just start to absorb into the top layer of your bar. So having like a nice thick coating will help it from just completely absorbing and looking all like
it's part of the bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so go ahead. You get to try. Okay. And you know, I know you're not gluten free, but you can still try.
I'm excited. I'm actually I want to cut the crust off because that's how I eat my pie.
Okay, correct.
Just because I want to taste it.
You do you. You do you. You can probably taste the butter in there.
And my kids aren't here, so I don't have to share. Thank you for this gift.
And so mine has a nice tang to it. So I like a strong lemon flavor. Some lemon bars are more subtle. Mine is very lemon forward.
Yes.
But you can always cut down the amount of Why are you doing that?
Lemon.
We're good.
And a little salt to even bring in more.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me and blessing me. You know I'm taking both of these home.
You can take them, child.
Okay.
Yes, we got some more. Once they cool down, she can have those too. But first of all, you blessed us. So blessed us. So yes, you can have all of this.
Yes.
Finance sis. Finance sis, honey. SIS. Because this sister gave us some good knowledge so that we sisters can make sure we have our wealth together.
Yeah.
And we're able to live in a way that we are not running from crisis to crisis.
That's right.
I love that. That's right. Any parting words for us, girl? Any parting words?
Remember that nothing is wasted. Every experience, every conversation, every lesson learned, every time you thought you lost, is somehow going to work in your favor. So keep that faith and keep going.
Nothing is wasted.
Nothing.
That is so true. Nothing. No, we're not even wasting this right here, okay? It's going to get eaten. But yes, nothing is wasted. All the things, our whole journey. Yeah. I will always say I will give nothing for my journey, right? I wouldn't give it away. I wouldn't wish it away because all of that is for a reason, just like what you said. So thank you. All right, everybody, please make sure you pre-order my journal, A Life Worth Tasting. It is a 365-day, 3-year journal where you get a daily prompt with a nice quote to motivate you and encourage you to live the sweet life. Because remember, it's not all sugar, it's the recipe. Hope you have a sweet day.
The sweet life, yeah. It doesn't get better than this. I'm living the sweet life, yeah. I'm walking free, I'm finally